With the release of the extended look at Grand Theft Auto 6 yesterday, we gained a ton of new information about things that are going to be in GTA 6. But one thing that I noticed in particular was the cars, the level of detail of the vehicles, and some hidden features and stuff that you may have not noticed, and some stuff that I didn't even notice in my initial watch through of the extended look. So in today's video, we're going to be going over every single detail that I could find and that I noticed in the extended look that has to do with automobiles, cars, motorcycles, anything like that. This video is going to be jam-packed full of information. I really hope you enjoy it. Leave a like if you do, subscribe if you're new. Let's go. The first scene that we're going to be talking about here is this one. And you'll notice that when Jason and Lucia are going to get into this car, they have two different options to break into the vehicle. One being a Slim Jim and the other being a smash window option. Obviously one of them being a lot more sneaky than the other with the Slim Jim versus smashing the window and breaking the glass, which would be quite loud. It also looks like if you select the Slim Jim option like Jason does here, there's a quick time event that you're going to have to participate in to get into the vehicle, presumably without setting off the alarm, or perhaps failing to unlock the vehicle. Now in this scene that follows immediately after the last one, it is quite short, but there are two things that I noticed. One, it looks like it is much easier to hold power slides for longer, as you can see Jason doing with the vehicle that is in the footage here, which I believe is the GTA 6 equivalent of the current GTA Online Declasse Tulip. The other thing in this one is that there is a lifted pickup truck in the background, as you guys can see right here. And due to some other screenshots and things that we've seen in the trailers previously, it does feel like we are going to be able to raise pickup trucks in GTA 6, and I think this is just more evidence pointing in that direction. In the next scene, which is quite short, we can see the bus using a turn signal on a left turn here. In this next scene with Jason and Lucia walking up to the older BMW, you'll notice that when they get into the vehicle, the suspension reacts to that weight change. Another thing you'll notice is that on the minimap, it clearly shows a building that is above the vehicle when you're underneath it, which is pretty cool to get that extra level of detail. I know that's not really to do with cars, but I just thought it was something really cool that I noticed. And once Jason starts driving and goes to turn out of the parking lot, you'll also notice his turn signal goes on the right-hand side of the vehicle, indicating that he's turning right. Now it's unclear if this is a feature that players will be able to do or not, but I'm assuming that it probably will be. I just don't know how it's going to be implemented yet. One of the other things that I noticed during this little scene is that Jason could be seen reaching up to the top of the windshield in the BMW and hitting a button, which is going to drop the top on the convertible, which is really, really cool. You'll also notice as the top is going down, there are a bunch of construction vehicles right outside of a construction site. This suggests that vehicles may spawn in proximity to locations that are related to their function. Now this might seem kind of obvious, but I've never really seen construction equipment spawn in nearby to a construction site in GTA 5, so I think that this is a pretty cool change. You'll also notice at several points throughout the footage that there are vehicles carrying cargo, like this truck, for example, that's carrying a bunch of bins in the bed, and there's going to be more coming up ahead. Something else that you'll notice as we drive along through traffic is that the variety and the amount of traffic is significantly increased over GTA 5. We all know the GTA 5 spawn sets of vehicles where certain vehicles are going to spawn with each other, but in GTA 6 it looks significantly better. One thing that you'll also notice is that some vehicles are dirty, some vehicles are clean, and you'll also notice different styles of paint on vehicles. And I'm not talking about the color, but I'm talking about the metallic or satin or regular classic look of the paint on certain vehicles, which I think is really cool. One thing you'll also notice, and it almost looks like Rockstar tried to hide it, but there still seem to be NPCs that disobey the traffic laws and will randomly seemingly want to turn into you, as you can see by this Bravado Bison, I believe it is, on the left side of the screen. It hits this cone and nearly hits the vehicle that is being driven by the player. Something else to take note of from this entire scene is how much skinnier the roads feel. Now I believe this is something Rockstar have intentionally done, is made it a lot harder to pass other vehicles and get around traffic that you're going to inevitably run into in Vice City. You'll notice how much of the lane the vehicle that is being driven by Jason and Lucia is actually taking up versus in GTA 5 where you could probably fit two cars in a lane realistically. Next up we have this scene, and oh boy, we have a lot to talk about in this one as well. One of the first things that I noticed is that in the Mercedes G-Wagon on the left side of the screen, there are 4 NPCs inside of it, which is something something that we don't typically see in GTA Online, or GTA 5 for that matter. There's also a secondary passenger in the Corvette on the lower left side of the screen as well, and interestingly enough, there's what looks like a Pegassi Tempesta on the back of a tow truck on the right hand side of the screen. But also in this scene, you can see just how many different types of paint there are on these cars. The Tempesta has a very flaky metallic paint job, whereas the C8 seems to have more of a matte or satin paint job. And then there's the Taxi, which is a fairly flat looking paint, and there's the Mercedes G-Wagon, which looks to be more of a classic paint job from GTA 5. In this next clip, you'll see a Dinka Ballistic Classic in the background, and then in the next clip we see another Dinka Ballistic Classic. However, the second Ballistic Classic seems to be modified. It looks like it has probably not stock headlights, as well as it has been lowered and maybe on wheels. This goes to show that there are going to be multiple different variants of customization options on the vehicles that are found within GTA 6's world, which I think is really cool. In this next clip, we can see a group of robbers on motorbikes holding up a groupie sex truck. In this next clip, we can see Jason and Lucia stealing a Declasse Tulip, perhaps the one that was seen earlier on in the trailer. And something that you'll notice is that one of the door panels has completely different paint than the rest of the panels around it. This suggests that vehicles are going to come damaged and come in different variants, like I said earlier. In the second half of this clip though, Jason and Lucia are presumably taking this Declasse Tulip to either a fence or a paint spray or a customs of some degree as well. In the next clip here, you can see some crazy interior details, presumably inside that same Declasse Tulip that we just saw in the last clip. You can see that there's a light on the roof, which is really neat. You can see the stitching on the door panel and the seats in the back. It looks very high quality, especially compared to GTA 5, obviously. In this clip, we can see the Benefactor Shafter, presumably the V12 variant, or maybe something else in GTA 6, but it appears to be the performance variant of the Shafter, given the slightly flared fenders on the sides of the vehicle. You can also see that there's an NPC here driving the white car who gets spooked and maybe tries to hit you. I don't know, but it seems like that might still be a thing in GTA 6. Driving along here, you can obviously see the difference and the improvements in the traffic variety and the amount of traffic that are on the roads in Leonida. You can also see something that is going to be new in GTA 6 here, and that is broken down vehicles on the roadways. Now, there used to be broken down vehicles on the roads in GTA 5, but they would always be off to the side and the engine would just be smoking with an NPC standing outside calling for help. But this appears to be right in the middle of a bridge, and I think this is going to be a thing that we're going to have to deal with quite a lot in Leonida. Throughout this next scene, you can see quite a few different details on the interior of the Benefactor Shafter. You can see a mirror adjustment as well as a window adjustment and heated and cooled seats on Lucia's side of the vehicle on the driver's side. There's also quite a bit of detail in the seats as well, and the interior looks very high quality and very nice, as you would expect out of a Mercedes. You can also see the center console in this shot right here, and it looks to be extremely detailed. The car also appears to be very spacious. If you've ever seen the inside of a car in GTA 5, they don't really feel spacious at all, but in GTA 6 this seems like something that they have improved significantly. Throughout this part, you can see Jason leaning out the back window of the Benefactor Shafter and shooting an ARP at the police pursuing. I didn't expect it to be this stable, but it looks very stable and very controllable, and this is filmed on PS5, so it seems like it's fairly easy to do even on console. You'll also notice that vehicles react significantly more than they did in GTA 5 when their tires are shot out. The police completely lose control when pursuing after this happens. And it seems like vehicles are far more susceptible to rolling over, especially if you shoot a tire out on a corner. On a side note, you can also see that the underside of this police Ram 1500 is extremely detailed. Good job, Rockstar. You'll also notice that there was something in the back of this police truck and it goes flying out of the vehicle as it rolls over, which I think is a cool detail. Something that I noticed here is that the car looks like it has a lot more weight to it, and it seems like the cars have a lot less momentum to them when you do things like a J-turn, for example. I feel like in GTA 5, this would have felt a lot more arcadey. In GTA 6, it looks a lot more based in reality, meaning that the cars feel heavier, and it also seems like the suspension is doing a lot more work than it typically would do in GTA 5. You guys will notice the car bouncing up and down as it goes over bumps and adjusts to the terrain that it's going over. Now, obviously, we'll have to actually see when we get to play the game, but it looks a lot different compared to GTA 5. Dare I say it looks a little bit more like GTA 4. In this scene, you'll see Lucia throw a Molotov at the Shafter V12, and you can watch the glass break and start to char up the vehicle where the Molotov initially hits. And then you can even see the taillights popping as the heat causes them to expand and contract. Additionally, you'll also see that getting in a new vehicle that the police are not aware of does not alert them immediately upon seeing you. They won't know it's you until they get up close, presumably. Here we can see a race taking place on one of the racetracks that are known to be on the GTA 6 map. You can see the players driving an Ubermacht Cypher, I believe it is, with some modifications. You can see a larger spoiler fitted to the back of the vehicle, and you can also see window stickers on the rear window as well as really dark tint on the window underneath. You'll also notice that this is lap 1 of 2 and you are in the 11th out of 16 positions. So this is obviously an event that we're going to be able to do in story mode and then probably in online as well. In the next scene, you can see a ton of different objects on the back of this truck passing underneath the underpass. This goes to show just how much extra detail Rockstar have put into the vehicles that are going to be driving around in GTA 6. In this next scene, Jason and Lucia are in the older BMW that we saw earlier, and presumably this is going to act similar to how the horse acts in Red Dead Redemption 2. As you guys can see, you have access to a weapon wheel inside the vehicle here, as well as items as well. Something that I noticed throughout some of the police chases that were shown in the extended look is that the blue and red lights will appear directly at the bottom of your screen behind you as you're driving away from the police, presumably indicating how close the police actually are to your vehicle. Here we have some footage of another race. This time though, it is an off-road race that appears to use multiple different vehicle types, including dirt bikes as well as lifted big trucks. Right at the end of the clip here, if you zoom in, you can see that there is what looks like a 90s Dodge Ram that has massive wheels and big suspension put onto it, showcasing just some of the off-road vehicle modifications that seem to be available in GTA 6. In this next clip, there are a few things that stood out to me, but one being that it is nighttime, it seems like there is less traffic on the roads of Vice City, seemingly imitating real life. Typically it gets quieter at nighttime and there are less cars on the road, which appears to be accurate in this video at least. Additionally, we also have another example of how devastating shooting out a tire on a pursuing vehicle can be. This is just something that I thought was kind of cool. It's not really that crazy or anything like that, but you can see the beam of light shooting out of the headlights in the night really clearly in this little scene here. About a second later, we get an interior shot of the Enos Jubilee, and what an improvement over the Enos Jubilee from GTA Online's interior. This looks absolutely incredible. The seats have so much detail and they're also multicolored as well. Another quick little detail you can see is that there are raindrops on the windshield of the Enos Jubilee as well. Overall, fantastic attention to detail, and presumably we may have highly customizable interiors. If not, the interiors of the vehicles are going to be insane regardless. In this next clip, you can see what it's like to drive in the water, and you can see the water splashing out from each individual wheel well here, which I thought was a really cool detail and a definite improvement over GTA 5. In this next clip, we get to see a ton of different customization options that are going to be available in GTA 6 and just a taste of what is going to be possible. As you can see, we have the Anis Elegy Retro Custom returning from GTA Online into GTA 6 here. We also have the Fister Growler, the Gauntlet Hellfire, and the Ocelot Jugular as well. Now further down in the clip, we also have the Gradiatali RSX and Pegasi Infernus Classic. This type of race looks different than the rest, and you'll also notice that throughout the clip, the Anis Elegy Retro Custom is using nitrous, which is a rare occurrence in a GTA game. Customization wise, there's also plenty of different options available for these vehicles. One thing that you will definitely notice about the Anis Elegy Retro Custom here is that the taillights seem to be a little bit more pink than they otherwise should be. Another thing that I've noticed immediately is that the license plate lights are a different color, and this vehicle has underglow. Additionally, it's also got some sort of lights in the rear window as well, and it has those stickers on the window on top of it all. Additionally, obviously a big spoiler, and then we can go into some of the other vehicles. The Fister Growler here has a massive spoiler on the rear, and it looks to be lowered for sure. The Gauntlet Hellfire also has underglow, as you guys can see, as well as a pretty cool looking livery on it as well. The Ocelot Jugular also looks heavily modified and features a crazy livery on top of it too. This entire scene really just looks like something out of a Need for Speed game, but it's in GTA 6. Just another aspect of how much they they've actually done with this game. As the NSLG Retro Custom approaches the Italia RSX and the Pegasi Infernus Classic, you can see just how heavily modified both of those vehicles are as well, both of them having underglow and many different options, including a roof scoop on the RSX, which isn't currently available in GTA Online. The Infernus Classic is even more heavily modified with a massive rear diffuser, spoiler, and a front splitter as well, as many other different options that are clearly available on the vehicle. This scene makes me super excited for car customization in GTA 6. I think it's going to be fantastic, and this seemingly looks like some sort of a street race, so another different type of racing that is going to be available in GTA 6. Right at the tail end of the trailer, there also appears to be what looks like a car meet going on. Now, in this very short scene, you can see some heavily modified vehicles, including the C63, which is front and center in the picture, right beside a different Ubermacht Cypher than the one that we saw earlier during the racing clip. This goes to show just how much modification there actually is between the vehicles, kind of similar to how it was in GTA 5 Online, but I think that in GTA 6, it's probably going to be even crazier. You can also see a True Fade Thrax driving through the background in this clip as well, and a bunch of other heavily modified vehicles out in the background. But I think it's safe to say we're going to get a lot of different modification options in GTA 6 and in GTA 6 Online. So there you have it. Those are the things that I found noteworthy during the GTA 6 extended look that we got yesterday. I think it's safe to say cars are going to be in a pretty good spot in GTA 6, and I'm so excited to actually get into the game and start customizing them and driving them and see what they are truly like. I'm planning to make a bunch more GTA 6 breakdown videos now that we have the extended look at the game. If there's anything else you'd like to see me talk about GTA 6 wise, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.